Welcome to the Conversations with the Crawleys. My name is Kevin,
My name is Tarsha.
and we are the Crawleys. And this video is all about one of our favorite shows. In fact, this is the show that kind of started us doing this YouTube channel
hmm
with Ready to Love on the Oprah Winfrey Network. It is back for season 4 or season 3 or season 2, depending on how you look at it from whose perspective, but it's the 4th group of folks. So if this is content that you like, if you want to hear our take on what's happening every week, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, ask for notifications, and make sure you are commenting there because we got a lot to talk about with this show. All right.
Exactly.
All right. And again, just as a reminder for this, what looks a little different, this is how we normally do it. You normally see us kind of sitting at the same desk, but Tarsha is on a trip right now with our son doing some football tours, and I'm here in Phoenix. So we're just going to make it work, right?
You do
All
what
right.
we do.
This is what we do. All right, let's jump into it. All right, so the singles start to arrive, and it's in Houston again this year, right?
Right.
So from the first kind of arrivals, was there anything that kind of stuck out to you? Anything that was like,
That stuck out to me?
yeah,
No, they're just getting out of the car. Other
yeah.
than Ida almost falling over because she was stepping on her dress.
We'll talk about Ida in a moment. Yes, Ida is, yeah. I think that kind of set the tone for Ida, if we can be honest. All right. But a couple of everybody's getting around to know each other. I thought it was really cute was David and Liz both kind of have this thing with the church. She,
hmm
I guess was in a traveling group, what have you, and has done
hmm
ministry. So they start singing, and of course, with the cutting and the editing, it looks like everybody's like turn around, ooh, wow. So that was kind of
hmm
interesting, something cool there.
hmm
And
Yeah.
yeah, Liz reminds me a lot of your cousin. You got a cousin
Right.
that reminds me a lot of Liz,
It
like
does look just like her. It's a
mannerisms and
really good.
everything, right?
Right.
You might need to
So it's
check
gonna
and
be
see
interesting.
if she might be some kinfolk in some way.
Okay.
All right. And then Chris from last season, Chris or KG as we knew him. He
Oh
was
my
introduced,
gosh.
and some of
Yes.
the ladies were like, "Oh,
No, I was checking out the men. They came out with like, oh, for real, dude.
right,
Like, oh my gosh. They were looking deflated. They were just like,
yeah,
oh man. And then Ronald was like, oh, he got an edge on us.
yes."
They know him already. He's like a celebrity. So he already hate Ronald already hate.
And that's one of the things that we kind of picked out and talked about was that there's depending upon when it was filmed. So it looks like the ladies have already or the folks have already had a chance to kind of
hmm
see his season.
hmm
So they are familiar with him. And so yeah, there
hmm
is a competitive advantage on Chris because one, he might get some quote unquote sympathy from the ladies or at least
hmm
some interest. And
Right.
now, just because the introduction, some of the brothers, they were looking salty.
They were looking upset, like, "Oh, I thought my game was gonna be on 10."
Right.
And all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, I'm hopefully a 4. Hopefully somebody will talk to me."
But we'll see. You will see how it plays out as we move through the season. If it really gives him an advantage, or if it was
Mhm.
just kind of the surprise, the shock of, oh, Chris is back, and see
Right,
kind of how that plays out. So
right.
be good to see, be interesting to see, right?
Exactly.
Um, and then Jason was meeting with Alexis and found out
Yes.
that they knew each other because he was the coach of her son.
Exactly, yeah, and she was like, "Ooh, I saw him in the parking lot, but, that's my coach's son, and I ain't gonna be
Hmm.
trying to hit on the coach."
Right.
And so she waited, and it was worthwhile because he
Yeah.
came back around. Houston must be really small.
Yeah, because there was another couple, and this is another one that we called, which was AJ and Kyra. Um, they actually went out on a couple of dates, right?
Yes.
They went out on a couple of
Well,
dates. Good.
and AJ called it. Remember, he says, like, I was out in these streets,
That's true.
so I might end up seeing somebody that I've dated before. And
Yeah.
not only did he date, but he left with the wrong impression on that day.
Yeah. Yes. So basically, what we
Like,
see is the
bro.
story. Yeah, she had she had got up, she had left her tab open, left her card for the tab. Kind of seemed like she might have been doing it as a gauge to see where he was. She left it, went to the restroom, came back. She still had the tab. The card was still, so he didn't pay for it. Come to find out that he had a card that was declined. So here's the thing. I don't know about this dating in this age.
Still not good.
Why are you going out to have a date and you don't have your money situation squared away?
You got to check your cards before you leave the house. Like,
Right.
I'm going to make sure before I leave, I can have some cash. I got to make sure I can pay for whatever I'm going to pay for. I got to know what's in the account. Like, you're going out at 8. So anything that dropped should have dropped the night before.
Right. You need to know your holding, what's on hold, what's authorized, right?
Right. So you telling me that you ain't had enough money because your card was overdrawn? Like, bro, that means your budget ain't right. I don't know if you cute and all, but not enough.
That's still an issue.
Finance, right.
If you didn't pay for it, that's an issue, right? But if you didn't pay for it because your money is wrong, that's an issue too. So,
right. But see, I'm under the thing that don't put your card on a tab either. If you're trying to do it as a test, I don't test people. This is the thing. If you're like, okay, we know that we're gonna go out and I'll take care of my stuff and you take care of yours. But if you ask me out, I'm not pulling out no card anytime.
Right.
I'm just not. If you ask me out, my card ain't gonna go out unless I find out your budget ain't right.
Right.
Because sooner or later we were gonna find out your budget wasn't right.
It's gonna come out one way or the other.
It's gonna come out one way or the other. So if I had to come out, then I'd rather been like, okay, cool. Like, okay, you got some things going on. I'll pay for it. And then I have to make a decision. Is this something that happens often for you, or this is how you live in? And then go from there, But I get being embarrassed, but it's just being honest. Like, you know what? I would love to pay tonight. Unfortunately, whatever your excuse is, sorry, but we can't do it tonight. But let's do this.
Right.
Let's go out again. I'll make sure my stuff right, and I'll make it up to you. That's how you spin that. That's how you spin it.
Right.
But being a music producer, he might be on, limits.
Listen, you better have sold a beat that day or something. Listen, if you know you're going out and you ain't paid your credit card bill and you funds are low, you better go on SoundCloud, Spotify, somebody sell a beat real quick.
Sell a beat quick.
Listen, all right.
Oh
so we'll see how they, if they do pick up and if they do kind of move on from that. She at least was like, okay, it's cleared now. They kind of got an understanding of what happened.
She was holding on to that.
Yeah.
Like it happened last night. Like we just.
Oh, I see him. All right. And then, Ida. So let's talk about Ida.
Hopefully people, if you're going to come on these shows and you're eliminated, you understand why, like, this is what I need to change. You can't tell me at some point someone didn't mention why we're not going out is because you talk too much. There has to be somebody that was blunt at one point in her life.
Well, can we stop there? Because that's one issue. There was an issue that I peeped before that. So she tells the story of how when she was growing up, she liked to be called Vicky. Now her name is Ida, but she likes to be called Vicky.
I wrote that down.
And it was because there was a show, Small Wonder. Listen, if you're in your 40s, maybe even late 30s, you might remember the show Small Wonder. It was a trash show, I think, but it was one of those shows. And there was a little girl who was a robot named Vicky, right? And so she, I guess, liked that show. And so she wanted to be called Vicky, to the point that she says her grandmother still calls her Vicky and may not know her name. So that tells me there might be some issues going on in that family. There might be some stuff happening in the family. If grandma don't know your name and is confused and calling you Vicky because she may not remember your name, and you want to be called Vicky because of a TV show.
I'm just saying, my understanding also, she said that she pretended to be her. It wasn't, if I heard her correctly, she also pretended to be her. And that's why she was called Vicky.
So
like became her
listen,
nickname.
I love
So
Martin, but don't call me Martin. Right? Growing up, I watched Good Times. Better not call me JJ. We're gonna have issues.
oh my
So I'm
gosh.
a little concerned with that. And then yes, the woman talks a lot. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To the point where guys were like checking out. Because here's the thing, especially in this environment, it's supposed to be a dialogue, right? It's supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be a conversation. She was making it a monologue. And so that's not going to work for a lot of guys. And so I'm expecting that probably, when ladies are dismissed in the next episode, she's probably high on the list of folks being gone.
That's what it sounds like, because again, you have to know when to stop.
Right.
And if you don't catch yourself late, someone says, oh, no, no, go on. No, let me hear about you. I done talked enough tonight. I'm
Hmm.
excited. Let me hear what you got going on and give an opportunity because once a brother feel like you ain't going to let him in, he stopped trying.
Right.
He just like, I'm just going to wait till
Right.
this date's over and not see
I'm-
you no more.
And I'm gonna just let you talk, and then I know at the end of
Mhm.
it, I'm gonna keep moving. There's nothing for us to, if you don't want to get to know me and have a conversation with me, then why am I here? I'm just gonna let you talk, and then I'll move on and move around. Right.
Well, that comes to Derek and what's her name? Adrian,
Hmm.
where they were talking about the missing cat. She got
Yeah.
a missing cat because the
Yeah.
cat used the dog door and someone took her cat. I don't know me. A lot of people just don't steal cats.
Dogs,
That
yes.
cat
I don't know
decided
about
to
cats.
leave.
I'm a dog person. We're dog parent. Well, I got a dog and our daughter has a dog, but
Hmm.
I don't see cats, and this is just me. I'm not a cat person. So shout out to all the
Stealing
cat
cat.
people that steal cats.
Shut up, cat. The steal cat.
Maybe there's a market in Houston for cats. I don't
There
know.
might be a market. Might be a
But
market somewhere.
I get it was top of mind for her because it was something that she just found out that day. Um,
Right.
and he only really kind of checked out in the asides, in the the kind of
Hmm.
afterthought conversations that they do, but
Hmm.
he at least was like, trying to encourage her or at least try to
Right.
engage with her. So he at least has enough emotional intelligence to be like, no, I don't care about your cat, and I'm gonna let you know. Right.
Well, he didn't let her know, but he was being, I guess, sympathetic about what was going on in her
Right.
situation. But you
Right.
got to keep it moving. Like, if he asks, like, "Well, how was your day?" Went, "Oh, I just found out my cat's missing. I am
Right.
concerned, but it's gonna work out." And you keep
Yeah.
it moving. You keep it
Right.
moving, especially when there's this connotation about women and cats.
Right.
So
You don't want to be
when
the cat lady.
you
Right.
don't want to be the cat lady, so it's
Right.
just like you mention it and you keep going. You know.
Right. Right. So how many cats you got? Right.
Right. Right.
All right. And then Andrea gets in another conversation with Ronald, who some folks weren't feeling Ronald too, but Ronald put her in. He almost immediately was like, because of your job, if we get together, you're going to be a stay at home mom.
Right.
Right.
Like, you don't got me married and barefoot in at home.
Right.
And she's trying to work through it, right? She's like, okay, are you talking about like toddler until they're like old enough
Hmm.
and feel like they're on their own?
Hmm.
And he was like, well, I don't see how that fit. I just don't see how that's going to like, dude, so first of all, let's slow down.
Right.
Let's slow down first. Pump your
This is
brakes.
just the mixer. We ain't even really been out on a date yet.
Right. Right. So I'm like, you know, it could always be a concern, but that's something that you talk through. Like
Right.
if I'm saying I'm interested, obviously she doesn't have to fly. She can still work for an airline
Hmm.
and may not be a flight attendant, but she could
Right.
work, I mean, at the airport if she choose to, right? Those are
Right.
decisions that you have to make. You have to come up. I just like saying, well, I would be concerned that something may happen to you. I don't want to lose. I can like address the fear and then figure out what the solutions could be. And then if y'all not vibing, you're not vibing. Then if you want to just say we're not vibing, but don't have some excuse, you
Right.
know. So
Yeah. Don't take away the woman's whole career at a mixer. Don't
right.
don't do that. That's just
Especially if that's something she always desired to do
and
is to
something she loves
be
to
a
do.
flight attendant. I
Right.
mean, people enjoy flying,
Mhm.
traveling, getting to see the world, and if she
Mhm.
feels like that's what she loves doing, then you just don't snatch the lady's passion.
Right. You done taken her completely. Yeah. So, and then another red flag that we're starting to see, even and it's early, but Troy seems to love putting his lips on people, right?
Troy reminds us of somebody else I'm not going to mention because he's spiritual too. And Troy wants to take everybody on a trip. Troy wants
Right,
to take everybody on a trip. Like,
right.
oh, for your birthday, we should be going to somewhere. Oh yeah. If you want to travel, see, women love to travel. And
Mhm.
then, I give them one a kiss on the cheek. I know where I am.
Right.
No, you slimy. To me, that's creepy.
And
That's
again, this is the age of COVID. Let's just be honest. I
creepy.
know they did some testing, of course, with everybody that was there. But listen, this is the age of COVID. Don't be putting your lips on
Man,
people all day, every day. That was the same thing
everywhere.
we saw with what was that other show? Oh, The Bachelor, where he was kissing
Yes.
everybody left and right. Listen, save that. Keep that. Hold on to that,
Save
right?
it. I
Make it
mean,
special, right?
that, thank you. That's
Make
what
it
I'm about
special.
to get.
Make it mean something.
I mean, at least get down to your top three. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you met people tonight and you done took 5 women. You got 5 different trips. So every weekend you taking someone else out of town.
And
So
and remember, Troy is the best catch in Houston. That's what he said, right?
yes, that's
He's the
what he
best catch that's
said.
never been caught in Houston. So we'll see.
Yeah, throw that fish
All right.
back
So
in.
that was, and so we had a couple.
Oh,
Go ahead.
you got to talk about Joel.
Joel was catching a lot of looks, right?
Joe was making his way around. Hey, how you doing? Joe
Yeah.
was making his way around. How you
Joel,
doing? Joe showed a little, he was putting the meat out.
he was doing it.
Joe, for someone who's a widow, very he's like he did. He finished his grieving process.
Oh
He
yeah, he's
ready
like,
to
I'm ready.
move.
I'm ready. So yeah, Joel was at the top of a lot of lists.
Joe was trying to put out that a Key Sweat vibe with the shirt open.
Not the Key Sweat. Not the Key Sweat.
You heard?
Okay, yeah, he is straight New Orleans.
Oh
All right.
boy.
And then so we did have two people go home this episode. So
Yes.
it was not what we were thinking, where it would be one of each, a male and a female. It
Right.
was
They
two
did two
guys.
guys.
And I'm gonna just say this: the reason you want to make sure you watch this, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit notifications. I predicted it. I called it. Did I not?
You called it. I
I called
mean,
it.
Christian, I thought he was just saved for the night, got another opportunity. But in this game, the, and I'm always torn because to me that's where the problem is. Sometimes someone that's a little quirky or a little
Mhm.
different,
Yeah.
we don't give those people opportunity. When you may get to know them, you might really find that there's a great person
Right.
behind them.
Right.
So I'm like, so like you may have to make a decision like, okay, let me hold on to him, a little
Mhm.
bit longer or
Mhm.
whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I just think like, what's his name? Kyle. I
Khalil.
can't pronounce
Khalil.
him. Khalil.
Mhm.
I would have like got my best friend to dress me because he like threw his suit from 5, 6 years ago on.
Yeah. So
I'm like, dude, you don't even know
the
how to keep it
yeah,
modern
the
because he's not an ugly
challenge with
man.
these well, Christian and Khalil, are you talking about Christian or Khalil? Because both of
I'm
them went
talking
home.
about Khalil. I mean,
Okay.
Christian came correct.
Yeah, Christian had the double breasted, which, he's a model that it worked, right? So for me, I think that the challenge that we see in this is, again, it's almost like speed dating. Not everybody's built to make an impression on a speed dating. And that's really what this was. It
Mhm.
was really like, granted, it's a couple hours that they're all kind of mingling and mixing. But
Right,
if I don't have the ability to stand out in a crowd of 10, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not ready to love. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not necessarily a great catch. It just
right.
means that I'm not. maybe not great in front of or when being compared with 9 other people, right? And so I think for Christian and Khalil, who both were the ones sent home today, Khalil just came off as awkward. And then Christian
Well, it
just,
started with what he was wearing. I'm sorry.
I got you. I
I'm
got
not. I, I'm not a fashion icon, but
right,
anyone would tell you if you looked in the mirror, I'm like, you didn't try hard enough.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
and then for Christian, he was after he was given a couple of tips,
Hmm.
he did try. I mean, so I'm like, I don't know why they wouldn't give Christian an opportunity. I don't, I'm just, I don't
Yeah. I think he got friend zoned pretty quickly. You know,
pretty quick.
Kyra
Maybe he
was
should have
like,
came as the mail carrier.
yeah. But Kyra was like, I'm looking out for you and I want you, I want you to know what they're saying. And he did try to correct it. He did try to, make some adjustments. And even when he got up to go get the water for them, she dipped out. So, it
Well, she
was
already put him in the friend zone.
right.
She already did. Right.
So it was for them. It was not the right environment. Wish them luck in the future as far as what they're looking to accomplish. But for Ready to Love, those two guys are no longer part of the equation, right?
Yep.
So looking forward to the rest of the season and next episode. I'm predicting that Ida
Okay.
is probably the next one to go. Okay.
Yes.
Although Andrea might be a close second because she seemed to kind of fade into the background a little for me,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So
Right.
that's kind of where I'm at. I think Ida, listen, I'm concerned about,
I agree with you on Ida. Yeah.
yeah,
I think I agree with those two picks.
yeah,
No, everyone else is, I got to get used to the names. So the
yeah.
comedian,
Tressa.
Tressa, that's another one where that comedian,
Hmm.
sometimes you get friend zone. So we have to see some men like that. They're like, oh, I want someone that's going to make me laugh.
Right.
Well, listen, that's not my full-time job. When I get off a stage,
Let's have a
she's not going to be entertaining you all night either.
exactly. Exactly.
So,
So we'll
yeah.
see. Tressa, I think Tressa will go a little further. But I think Ida primarily, and then Andrea secondly right now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. A lot of folks were feeling chrysanthemum, right? I said it
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah, that's right. So you don't have to call her Chris because
So
every
I had to
time
call
someone
Chris.
started calling Chris, like they had 2 times, they weren't paying attention.
And even Tommy was like, it's chrysanthemum. It's chrysanthemum.
Right.
It's chrysanthemum.
Chris
You mean
Sam.
chrysanthemum, right? So
Chris.
all right.
Now, see, the radio host, Chris, he knows how to say it right.
Right. Chris is like, look, I am not making the same mistake twice. I'm going to move around. And I like that Chris is moving around this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I got hopes for Chris. We'll see how it
Mm-hmm.
goes. I really, again, we talked about this before. Chris got the short end of the stick last season. So it's good to see him get a second chance, and we'll see how he takes advantage of it.
Yep.
All right. All right.
All
Anybody
right.
else you want to talk about? Any other couples? Or
Nope. That
singles?
was pretty much it. I got everybody.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, this has
All
been
right.
Conversations with the Crawleys. I'm Kevin, my wife Tarsha,
Natasha.
and we do this every week. So again, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, ask for notifications, and hit the comments up. Listen, we respond to the comments. We love interacting with you guys in the comments. So make sure you do that. Let us know what you're thinking, your thoughts, and we'll continue on as we move in this season. All right. That's it for today. Have a great one. Be blessed. We'll see you next time.